Today, we're going to be taking a look at the easiest methods that you guys can use to get a free knife in CS2. Ever since the addition of the Armory collection to CS2, it's become extremely easy to work your way to a free knife, and now you have even more options than you used to in the past. The first method that we're going to discuss is simply farming the CS2 Armory Pass. Since the newest update is now out, it's the perfect time to grind the Armory stars and get some free items that you can sell for a huge profit. To start off, you're going to want to buy one Armory Pass. You can see here I currently have 5, however you will only have 1 if you purchase that one that I do recommend. You will be able to get 40 stars from that one Armory Pass, which can buy you 20 fever cases or 10 train collection items. I personally believe for the first few days or the first week of the case being out in the Armory, I would definitely recommend using all your stars from that first week to buy the fever case, and after your 7-day sell hold is over, I would definitely recommend selling them right away to start off with a balance to use for the rest of this free knife. The reason why I would recommend purchasing the case to start off, if we look back at the gallery case and how it performed, we can see the first few days it was selling for around $3.45 on average. If we factor in 40 stars and picking up 20 of these cases with those 40 stars, you will be able to sell it for around 4 times what you paid for the Armory Pass. Even in the worst case scenario, we can see it averaged out to around $1. If you picked up 20 of those cases and sold them all for $1, after those Steam fees, you'll be left with around $17.50, which is still a slight profit compared to what you paid for the Armory collection. I would also, however, recommend picking up some items in the collections instead of only getting the cases after the first few days. Another way to make some money from the Armory Pass and make some more compared to cases if you do get lucky, you can head over to CS ROI and look at the Armory tab. This will show you the unboxing ROI on all items in the Armory collection. We can see here the top item is the Elemental Craft Sticker Collection with an unboxing ROI of 104.9%. If you do want to test your luck, you can also pick up the most profitable items from here and see if you can get some of those higher tier items like the reds or purples and sell them for a higher profit. However, this is risky and you may lose some money and not be able to buy back the Armory Pass. Alongside making a small profit from the Armory Pass, you'll also be getting your weekly care packages on top of that, which is also guaranteed profit. We can see here we got the fracture case and a skin. Each week you will be able to get this, and if you do hit any items from the new collection that did just come out, you also will be at a huge profit within those first few weeks. This video was sponsored by Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is the best CS2 trading site with thousands of skins to choose from. Simply select the skins you don't want from your inventory, select the skins you do want, and press trade. You can get up to $5 completely free on your first trade if you use code Claude, as well as a 35% deposit bonus on your balance while using code Claude. If you don't have any skins in CS2 but want a free chance every day, they are always running 3 giveaways that are completely free to enter. Make sure to check them out with the link in the description below, and thanks again Skins Monkey for sponsoring the video. The next method that I would recommend, and one of the ones that I have used many times to get some free knives in CS2, is simply doing trade ups. You have low risk and no risk trade ups that you guys can spam when you start off with a lower budget. The higher up you build your budget, you can get into some more risky trade ups, around 50 to 60%. However, they will give you a chance to almost double your money on a lot of those trade ups and build up your balance extremely quickly. There are a few different methods with how you can start off CS2 trade ups. The first one is simply depositing some money into the game in order to afford the first no risk trade up that you do attempt. Your other options are using your weekly drops and selling them for the first few weeks, or picking up some items in the Armory collection and selling them off for a profit. Once you have figured out how you're going to fund the first trade up, we can go into a no risk trade up like the one shown on the screen. As you can see here, this trade up costs $3.62. We have a 100% chance odds to profit on Steam and on a third party site, so no matter what outcome we do hit here, it will be a guaranteed profit. However, the top option would be the M4A4 turbine, stat track minimal wear condition. This would give you over $2.04 in the profit when selling on Steam, or $2.89 in the profit if you do sell it on a third-party site. In order to do the trade up that I did just show, you would need one M249 Hypnosis, stat track minimal wear condition, 83 cents for this item at a 0.099 float or lower. Also for this trade up you would need 9 MP5 SD statics, stat track field tested condition, 31 cents per unit At a 0.185 float or lower, the floats on these items have a huge impact on the outcomes, so you definitely want to make sure that they're at this float or lower compared to what I did show on the screen. You do have a few different options with how to find the floats that you do need for these trade ups. The first option is searching up CSGO Float Market Checker and clicking on the top option for the Chrome Web Store. You're going to want to make sure to add this to Chrome as long as it's the one with 900,000 total users. Once you have added this to your Chrome, you're going to want to head back over to the Steam Market and search up the item that you're looking for. For example, here we'll click on the statics in field tested condition. When you scroll down, you will be able to see all the floats without inspecting it in game. You can also sort by float right here. When you click this button, it will go to the lowest floats. However, we could see there that the top float was still only a 0.21, which is higher compared to something that we do need. Another way to get the floats that you do require are simply setting buy orders. However, before you set any buy orders, I would recommend seeing what item in that case is the best to set a buy order for to get the float that you do need. For this one, we're going to click on the gallery case on CS ROI. From here, we're going to press item and float drop chances. We're going to click on the item that we do need, which is the statics. Press field tested condition and type the float that we do need of 0.185. Press find average float. We can see here on average we'll get 22.73% of our buy orders will be at the float that we do need. You're going to want to go through all the items in this collection and see which one has the highest percent. The third way that you guys can find the floats that you do require is sniping them on third-party sites. This is what I do for about 80% of my trade ups. You're going to want to head over to any third-party site that you do use. We're going to search up the statics once again. And once it pops up here, we're going to click on it, and on the left-hand side, we're going to press Field Tested Condition, Stat Track, because we are looking for a Stat Track item. We can sort it either by lowest wear, which will show you the lowest one. However, we can see here the price on this is $9.40, and it's still not even at the float that we do need. Typically, I'll sort it by cheapest first, and then look through these items to see if any of them are the float that we do need. Another site that I use a lot of the time is Skins Monkey, just because no matter what your float, it will be the exact same price. What I mean by this is if we look at the Nemesis here on the right hand side, we can see it's $9.81. However, there's a 3 times icon in the top right. If we click on this, we can see 3 different floats. You can buy all these for the exact same price, which is definitely great for doing trade ups. Once you have found all the items for the trade up, you're going to want to head back over to CS2 and do this trade up in order to sell for a profit and then move on to the next trade up. As we can see here, we're ready to attempt the trade up in 3, 2, 1, go. And that right there, it is the worst outcome. However, it is still a 65-cent profit when selling on a third-party site. So we still did make some money, which we can flip and then do this trade up once again. The next method, and probably one of the easiest ways you could ever get a free knife in CS2, it's the least time consuming, and it's simply entering different giveaways that you see from YouTubers or people that are streaming the game. I will be giving away this Huntsman knife Marble Fade in factory new condition when we hit 50,000 subscribers. All you need to do to enter this giveaway, subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment down below, and make sure your trade link or Steam ID are in the description of your YouTube channel. The final method that I do want to talk about is using the active drop pool to make some free money. In order to start off with this and buy some of the cases in the drop pool, you're going to want to either use method 1 or 2 in this video, or invest some of your money into the game in order to make some profits in the future. As we can see here, these are the 5 active cases that are dropped in CS2 when you do rank up every week. Every case can be dropped, however these are the ones that are typically dropped right now. When a new case is added to CS2 and put into the prime drop pool, one of these cases will be removed and the price will skyrocket within the first few days. From here, you're going to want to pick which case you believe would be next removed from the active drop pool. We can see here the fracture case is the oldest case in the drop pool at 2020. However, it should have been removed in one of the last updates, but it wasn't compared to some cases that were newer. So you're going to want to invest into some that you do believe will be removed next, and then your money will be able to multiply by simply selling off the cases when they're no longer in the active drop pool, and the overall quantity of the cases does go down. To help you guys off going from nothing to a knife in CS2, I'll also be giving away this AK-47 headshot in minimal wear condition when this video hits 350 likes. All you need to do to enter the giveaway, drop a like on the video, and comment down below your favorite method that you're going to use to get a free knife in CS2. These are the main methods that I personally would be using right now in order to get a free knife in CS2. I would be spamming the Armory collection in the new update every time one does drop, and trying to get that new case and new items to sell as soon as they are tradable. Since there is now a 7-day trade hold, I would want to pick them up right away. That way when the 7 days is up, I can be one of the first people to list it on the market and set whatever price that I did want. If you're looking to get the knife as quick as possible, I would recommend using all the different methods that we did discuss in this video. I would combine the Armory Pass alongside your weekly drops in order to afford the first few trade ups. From there, I would stick to no risk trade ups until I'm around $50. From then, I would want to do trade ups over a 60% chance odds to profit. That way, if you're losing some of the trade ups, you aren't losing all your money right away. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.